Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. I'm Greenheart Goddess 9. Welcome to my channel. I'm very happy to bring you this delicious recipe. This is a recipe for creamy crab red pepper dip. This is a recipe that I found from Kraft Family and Foods. I was a stay-at-home mom for about 15 years, and I used to subscribe to their magazine that they had began, I believe it was in 2002, somewhere around there. And I began to collect those and would just hold on to the ones that I really enjoyed. This was one that I really enjoyed. And so it's been with me ever since then. It's super easy, simple. I figured since I'm making it for the game, along with some other things, why not go ahead and share it with you all. So we'll go ahead and get started with the ingredients. To start, I have 6 ounces of white lump crab meat. You want to make sure that it's white lump crab meat. If you don't have that available to you, by all means go ahead and use what you are able to find. You can also buy the crab legs from the seafood market and actually take them out, cook them, take them out of the shell, and then chop them up. Or if you have leftover crab, which I kind of had yesterday, but it didn't quite make it into this mixture here, so I went ahead and purchase this. But also too, just wanted to note that this is wild caught. It is without MSG and sulfites, and so just keep that in mind when you're buying. And then next I have 8 ounces, about 8 ounces of cream cheese. The recipe calls for 1/3 of a less fat in cream cheese. And also too, I wanted to mention before I move on to that, if you are doing a vegan version of this, the vegan version would be to use jackfruit or tofu, and about the same amount of measurement. Also too, artichokes is another good substitute. And then with the cream cheese, if you were doing the vegan version, you would just do a non-dairy cream cheese. And so we have that, and then we need a 1/2 cup of cheddar. Now this is not cheddar, this is Marble Jack. I like Marble Jack, that's what I have on hand, so that's what we're using today. And then I did bring this out because I do eat this as well, but this is the vegan cheese that I am currently eating, and this is what's in my fridge. But this is a really good brand of cheddar cheese as well. Then, let's see, we're gonna have 2 green onions. So I already chopped up one of those onions here, only because I like to kind of temper what I put in. I don't want it too oniony. So I can put in as much as I need to, and when I feel like that's enough, then I'll go ahead and stop there. And so with the other green onion, I just went ahead and left it. I got it prepared, cut the bottom, which can tend to be a little ragged and not usable because of the transport and how it gets handled. And then the top part, which is the bulb, and you don't want to eat that. So I went ahead and cut that, and I'm going to cut this all in the video along with this beautiful red pepper that you're gonna need. And you want a small one. I wasn't too particular on size, and I probably won't use all of this red pepper. I'd say probably about a little bit more than half of this for this recipe. And then you want a tablespoon of Gruyere Poupon. If you don't have Gruyere Poupon, you can use any other mustard that you prefer to use. And then I also pulled out, this is not in the recipe. I always have to add my little spice to it if it doesn't call for it. It's really good. This is good on seafood, especially if there's no seasoning called for the recipe, but I tend to season my crab a little bit as I'm putting it in the mix there. And then for the final ingredient, what you're going to use or eat with your dip is Ritz crackers. Now if you don't eat Ritz crackers, whatever cracker that you prefer, that you like. And that's how versatile this recipe is. I love it. Okay, so we have, I've already put the cream cheese in here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my knife here, and I'll just start cutting. I cut the top of the red pepper first. And I think because I'm only gonna use a little more than half, we'll just slice it lengthwise like that. So we got, and then you just want to make sure you got all the seeds out. Sometimes don't worry too much about the seeds, because as you're chopping it, the seeds are gonna kind of come out on their own anyway. So I hope you all are doing well, feeling fantastic. For those of you who are enjoying the game, good luck to whatever team you choose. Let's see, now you don't want big chunks because you're gonna be biting into the red pepper. I do like slight, tiny little slivers. And then sometimes too, I might even, once I do all of these that way, then I'll take my knife and go over it again, just to get them a little bit smaller. We'll do this here. Okay, and then if you'll notice too, I'm using parchment paper rather than my actual cutting board, only because with the onion, once you cut it on, say you cut it on a cutting board, it's gonna kind of leave a resonant smell and flavor. So say you had cut some onions on your cutting board and then you went to go make a dessert, and you cleaned it, you cleaned your cutting board and all that good stuff, it still resonates. Like I remember one time doing garlic on my board, and I think it stayed there for about 6 months, and I really like scrubbed it, soaked it. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, so this is quite a bit. I would say this is definitely a good amount here. And this is the other half of the red pepper that I have here, and I'm not gonna use that because I have quite a bit here. So I'm just gonna turn my paper a little bit. Let's see how well you can see that. And then just kind of go over. And then go the opposite way and go over. Uh-oh. Sorry, onions. Okay. So now that we have these chopped, I'm gonna go ahead and add them into the cream cheese. Just get all that. Make sure if you're using parchment, this can get a little wet. Just be mindful of the paper, because it will get soggy and it might make it into your dip, and you don't want that. So then we're gonna go ahead and put everything else in that was presented. So we got the cheese there, and then you can see this here. It's already looking really yum. Got the mustard. This is so easy because you can just get everything pre-prepared and then dump it all in one bowl. And you're not really dirtying up a whole lot of dishes. Don't have to worry about cleanup so much. We got the onion. And I'll show you here the reason why I did not is because of all that right there. And so once you mix it, you'll be able to tell, you can even taste it a little bit to see if you get an actual bite, a good bite of the green onion. If you don't, by all means, go ahead and put a little bit more green onion in there. And then we got the pièce de résistance, the crab meat. Now I didn't quite drain this all the way, and this is so pretty. Because I want some of the flavor still from the crab meat in the dip. I don't know if you can see that without me spilling, but I'm gonna go ahead and drain just a little bit more from this without really like squeezing it, and then just dump that in there. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love this recipe. Oh, this is so good. Okay, so there's my crab meat there. Yum, 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 yum. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the Old Bay seasoning. And this isn't coming out like salt would, and so that's why I'm shaking. This isn't a whole lot. It's just a few dashes on top there, just to give it a little kick and some flavor. All right, then I'm gonna take my spatula and mix all this together. You want your cream cheese softened too. I didn't mention that, But at the beginning of this recipe, while you are preparing your ingredients, go ahead and start with your cream cheese and have that sitting out probably for about, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes to thaw. And then too, I might even grab my salt and pepper just because I want a little, like something about salt and pepper kind of really sets everything off. And then you're just gonna stir this really good. I would say to take your spatula and kind of go down the middle and fold it, and that'll help with the cream cheese that you have as well. This smells so good. Oh my God. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. And then a little onion popped out. We'll put you back in there. Nice try. So here's what we have here. Super delicious. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is grab my salt and pepper here. Just do a little sprinkle. Just a tad bit. And then stir it again. And just make sure everything is incorporated. And then the next thing you're going to do is refrigerate this for about an hour. Plastic wrap here. So this is all ready to be put in the fridge, and you'll put this in for about an hour. When you're ready to serve this, then that's when I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my green onion. And because I have a dish already for it, I'm gonna go ahead and get that ready now so that I don't have to do it later when it's time for my dip to be done. And I only want, most times with green onion, I usually take a little bit from the greener part of the green onion and then from the white section of the green onion, going into the green where it's kind of light green. And then we'll have that there. We're gonna sprinkle this on top after we take this out for about an hour in your fridge, and you are all set. You're gonna eat this with some delicious crackers that you have and enjoy yourself. So this was the recipe for creamy crab red pepper dip. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you try this recipe, I hope that you enjoy it, and thank you so much for tuning in. Peace and love.